There's an ancient, well-known philosophical question that asks, if a tree were to fall in the forest and there's no one around to hear it, does it still make a sound? A scientific view is that when the tree falls and makes waves in the air, to make sound, it takes an ear to hear it. So my question for you this afternoon is this. If someone speaks and no one listens, is there really communication? Is there really communication? So in my view, listening is a very important part of communication. Or listening is the missing half of communication. It is so important, but often overlooked. In the world that we live in today, there's so many cell phones, so many communication devices, so many tweets, so many emails, so many talking that's going on. Are there enough truly listening that's happening? And I believe that with so many distractions and interruption, right, I believe that while there is a lot of talking, a lot of communication, but who is really listening? So the purpose today is to help you to be a better communicator by being a better listener. I'm reminded of a story that happened to me 2 weeks ago. I was having a conversation with my 6-year-old. She refuses to sleep, and I wanted to sit her down and want to work with her and partner with her to see how I can help her to sleep earlier. So I sat her down and asked her, what can I do to partner with you so that you can sleep earlier? And without saying a word, she looked at me, looking sad, and after a while she said, I've told you many, many times that I am an owl. I was so dumbfounded, obviously. Okay, I almost break out laughing, but the lesson I learned from that conversation was that I had to be a better father by listening to her. So on a serious note, if we bring this to relationship in a social setting, sometimes you see that there are challenges, misunderstanding. You hear people say, haven't you not heard what I said? If you bring it to the workplace, have you heard managers saying to each other or team members saying to each other, have you not attended the meeting? Were you not there? Right? As a result, this leads to miscommunication or lack of productivity in what the project has to do. Right? And this is all has to do with the lack of listening. And I personally believe that listening is a golden key to open every human relationship. Right? And in doing so, I think that it is really important to be thinking about what listening means to you. I was just thinking about ordinary listening. And I realized that in our everyday, we need to learn how to listen and to be better at listening. And what I noticed is this. Many people in their day-to-day, when they listen to words that they can agree with, words that they maybe disagree with, and sometimes they think about what they want to say with respect to what they listen. And you look at this kind of listening has to do with themselves as they are listening. So the focus is on themselves. But in genuine listening, it's really about listening to the underlying feelings and needs of the other person. And Stephen Covey has a beautiful way of saying it. He coined it in such a way. He said that listen not just to reply, but listen to understand. I thought that was a beautiful way of saying, how can we genuinely listen? So therefore, I'd like you to imagine with me. Can you imagine that if we teach listening in school to young children, just like teaching reading? After all, listening is like reading people. Think about how this will happen if we were to listen more. Think about relationship. Think about what happens if at the organization setting that managers listen to employees, company listens to their customer. What do you think will be the impact towards the revenue, the innovation, and the productivity? Think about parents listening to their children. What better way for us to make them feel that they truly matter if we listen. And what better way for us to show our love if we truly listen? What do you think?